Let's take a deeper dive into what Social Security could look like under President Trump, exploring both the potential impacts and the ongoing discussions. These days, a lot of folks are wondering about the future of Social Security. Will it get a boost in its financial stability, or could its projected insolvency actually occur sooner than expected? Well, today we're going to dig into some of these pressing questions and talk about the possible benefits and challenges ahead. So, let's break down what's happening with Social Security under President-elect Donald Trump. If you've got any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. And hey, if you find these updates helpful, why not give that like button a quick tap? All right, let's get started. So, what are we hearing about Social Security with Trump in the driver's seat? There's a lot of chatter out there, with articles and statements flying around. For instance, an article from Newsweek highlights what Trump's victory could mean for Social Security. To be clear, Trump made some big promises early on. Back in July 2024 at a campaign rally in Florida, he assured everyone, "I will not cut one penny from Social Security or Medicare, and I will not raise the retirement age by 1 day." But can he keep that promise? Here's why we're discussing this. Some folks are speculating about possible changes, like the full retirement age creeping up by 1 or 2 years, from 67 to 68 or 69. This figure is crucial because, according to recent reports, each year we push back the full retirement age results in a 7% lifetime reduction in benefits. So, if it goes up by 1 year, that's a 7% cut in lifetime benefits, and a 2-year increase means a 14% cut. Now, let's look at what Trump said regarding Social Security's funding problems. He mentioned there are various ways to address entitlements, hinting that cuts might be in the cards. Yet, a few weeks later, he assured that he wouldn't take any action that would put Social Security or Medicare at risk. This brings us to a tricky spot. Lawmakers are divided. Some argue that without reforms, Social Security and Medicare are heading toward disaster. If nothing changes, beneficiaries could lose about 22% of their benefits when Social Security becomes insolvent around 2035, which is just a decade away. Also, a report from the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget examined Trump's policies and potential impacts on Social Security. The discussion is ongoing, with many opinions and predictions swirling around, leaving people uncertain about what the future holds for one of America's most crucial safety nets. All right, so here's the deal. There's a lot of buzz about this new economic plan that could seriously mess up Social Security's finances. Apparently, the plan's policies might dig a $2.3 trillion hole in Social Security's budget. And that's a huge deal because over 72 million Americans rely on Social Security to make ends meet. Now, some of Trump's ideas, like getting rid of certain taxes, might unintentionally deepen the financial gap, especially when it comes to benefits for seniors. Experts are sounding the alarm here. If Trump gets his way and Social Security benefits, tipped income, and overtime income aren't taxed, Social Security might be in for an even rougher ride. But here's the twist. Trump's not just looking to cut taxes on tips, overtime, and Social Security benefits. He's also thinking about slapping tariffs on imports from other countries. The idea is that these tariffs would bring in a boatload of money, enough to fund various projects. The catch? If these tariffs are implemented, the cost will likely trickle down to us, the consumers. So, when we go shopping, we might find ourselves paying a bit more for things. However, the silver lining is that while some prices go up, others might come down, though this won't happen overnight. If managed right, this whole scheme could potentially give Social Security a boost. Right now, though, there's a lot of back and forth and not much clarity on what's actually going to happen, what policies will stick and what won't, which bills will get passed, the usual legislative rigmarole. Here's where it gets a bit sticky. Congress sometimes plays this game where they'll pass one bill with the promise of backing another one soon after. Remember that time a few years ago when Republicans and Democrats made a deal? They passed one bill, but the follow-up, which Republicans were banking on, never saw the light of day. We're kind of in a similar situation now. So they might pass a bill cutting taxes on Social Security benefits, tips, and overtime. But then, what happens with the tariffs? Or they might focus just on tariffs, leaving other cuts dangling. And, what about changes to the full retirement age? Some lawmakers are floating the idea of bumping it up by 1 or 2 years, which could really shake things up. And hey, there's also talk about Congress trying to expand some Social Security benefits. It's a complex situation, and everyone's waiting to see how it all plays out. Over the past few months, there has been a significant push to enhance certain benefits. Recently, it came to light that the House is gearing up to attempt passing a bill related to Social Security next week. This bill aims to secure benefits for workers who qualify for other pensions too. However, efforts to move forward were unexpectedly challenged by the hard-right leaders of the Freedom Caucus. They tried to disrupt the progress, but there's still a last-minute push to save what started as a rare bipartisan effort. The goal is to get this bill passed during the lame duck session of Congress, basically the time after elections, but before the newly elected members take office. So, what's this bill about? It aims to repeal something called the government pension offset. This offset can sometimes reduce Social Security benefits for spouses, widows, and widowers who also receive their own government pensions. The bill has been garnering support in the House, with around 300 lawmakers, including the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, backing it. Now, let's be clear, this bill won't impact 72 million people. It's not that widespread, but it represents a small, meaningful step in the right direction. Lawmakers suggest that by taking these incremental steps, we can eventually create a comprehensive, bipartisan solution to improve Social Security. It's a gradual process, and they're aiming to address the issue one bit at a time. However, this isn't something likely to be fully resolved in the next 4 years, especially under a Trump administration. It's more likely to stretch into 2030 or even later. We're all watching closely to see how this situation unfolds, especially concerning Social Security under President-elect Donald Trump. What changes are looming? Who will be affected? These questions linger, but we're still in the dark about the specifics. Rest assured, as soon as there's more information or updates, I'll be sure to keep you in the loop. Thanks for tuning in, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing. Catch you in the next update.